This week marks Sonic's 35th anniversary, and I'm gonna be giving the pros and cons of each special Sonic. Every collection has a Sonic game in it. Now, obviously, there are going to be some that are excluded. One of which is going to be my 2-pack with Team Sonic Racing and Sonic Mania for the Switch, because I don't know if they put it on any other consoles or it was just a Switch exclusive. But first things first, we're going to talk about Sonic Jam. Now, I don't have that as part of my Sonic collection. It was released for the Sega Saturn, and it has Sonic 1, 2, and 3, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, Sonic and Knuckles, Sonic Knuckles, and Blue Spear. It was exclusive to the Sega Saturn. Its pros, it's got the original 3 Sonic games. Cons, well, it was on the Sega Saturn. Moving on away from that, though, is the actual ones I have for my collection. Starting off over here in my cabinet is I'm going to start with the GameCube version, and that is Sonic Gem. I have the Sonic Gems collection for the Nintendo GameCube. So it has, of course, Sonic CD, Sonic the Fighters, and Sonic R, alongside 6 bonus games, which is Sonic 2, Spinball, Sonic Triple Trouble, Drift 2, Sky Patrol, and Tails Adventures. Now overseas they did release this game as part on the PlayStation 2. However, in the United States, where I'm based out of, it only released in the United States on the GameCube. So there are some pros and cons. One, it is a console exclusive title just for the GameCube, which is nice. And this is my player's choice. But that's also its biggest drawback, is in order to get like games like Sonic CD, you have to have a GameCube. You have to get the GameCube disc. Other than that, though, I beat Sonic the Fighters on here. I played Sonic R. It's one of my favorite collections, and it's nice to actually pick up this every once in a while. The next up is for the PlayStation 2. Now, there's a couple of collections that feature it. Let me turn on some light. And this is my PlayStation 2 collection. And we'll start with the Sonic Mega Collection Plus. This was released for the PlayStation 2 and Xbox. Some of it, there is not really any negatives to it, but I will explain here in a second what I find is negative. It has Spinball, Mean Beam Mystery, 3D Blast, Sonic 1, 2, and 3, and Sonic and Knuckles. That is a positive. It's only, and of course, you get to unlock 6 additional Game Gear titles, which is nice. It's also really nice to have this re-release. There's only a couple of problems I have with this. Number one, it doesn't have Sonic CD. Like I explained before, you have to get the Blast collection, Sonic Blast. It also doesn't have, and none of these collections do, Knuckles Chaotix. But it was on a console that it didn't. It was on a version of the console, and it wasn't a great game. So that's going to be a major drawback. But that's the only negative I have to this collection, is it doesn't have Knuckles Chaotix, and it also doesn't have Sonic CD. Next one up, as I put back my... Oops! I lost my light. Damn it. We'll just leave it up like that. Next one up is going to be, not Secret Agent, is the Sega Genesis collection. Now this one has some cons, and one of which is it doesn't have as many Sonic games as you would think. I think it only has, if I open the case and look at the instructions manual. Sorry, that light was getting distracted. It only has, once I get the manual out, if I'm reading this correctly. That's the save load settings. If I remember correctly, it only has Sonic 1 and 2. So, which this is in alphabetical order, so Golden Axe, good friend. Yeah, it only has Sonic 1 and Sonic. It only has, according to the booklet, Sonic 1 and Sonic 2. That's its only drawback. But its positive really is the fact it has all other major titles that released, like Golden Axe and Phantasy Star, for the Genesis. So it does have its benefits. Give me one. It does have its benefits. That does have its benefits because it has a lot of Genesis games, but it's sad it only has 2 Sonic games. That's its only drawback. Now I don't think I have a collection for the PlayStation 3, but the next one up is the Dreamcast collection, which I got for the 360. This has Sega Bass Fishing, Sonic Adventures, Crazy Taxi, and Space Channel I can't part 2. So this there is an advantage because it has Sonic Adventure, which was a greatest hit for the Dreamcast. It was one of its most popular games. That's also its major drawback is it doesn't have Sonic Adventure 2. But it's another pro is it has 3 other great titles that came for that console. And next one up, and I think it's the final one on our list, is going to be Sonic Origins. This is one of my favorite collections. It's one of my favorite collections. I have it for 2 different consoles. This is my PS5 cover. Right there is my Switch cover. And one thing I love, there's 2 things I love about this. The biggest pro to this is going to be it has the original 4 Sonic games. Sonic, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, and Sonic CD. And in the order they were intended to be. Another cool thing about the Plus version is not only do you get the Game Gear titles, but you also get Amy Rose for the first time ever playable in this game. And also they made new cutscenes specifically for this game entirely. The only drawback to this game is if you have the digital version of this game. If you got the digital version of this game, you have to pay an additional $10 to get Amy Rose. Other than that, this is one of my favorite collections. Again, it doesn't have Knuckles Chaotix, and none of them do. But it is one of my favorite versions of the game. But yeah, there are some pros and cons to the collections. But obviously, my favorite collection is going to be not only that, Origins is also the first time that the games were put in true HD. So that's kind of cool too. If I had to choose one off the top of my head that was the best collection, it would be Origins. I would say Origins is the best out of all the collections. Then after that, I would say Sonic Mega Collection Plus for the PlayStation 2. And then, of course, finally, I would say, obviously, the Sonic Gems collection. Obviously, there are some things I will say, like, are different between versions. Obviously, Origins has that anniversary. Obviously, most of the older Mega Collection, a lot of the ones that released for the Xbox 3, a lot of the ones that released for the 360, and such, those were quite ironically, a lot of the older games, ironically, if I have to say, still have the life counter. The best way to enjoy it is Plus because of the anniversary mode on it, but that's another reason I like it. But other than that, that's my pros and cons to every Sonic game collection.